What's going on, everybody? It's Jay here from Nerd Takes, and today I wanted to give you my take on episode 2 of The Penguin. First off, just like last week, I'm going to assume that anybody watching this video has already watched the episode, so with that in mind, I will be going into spoilers. I just wanted to put that out there now at the beginning of the video. And with that out of the way, let's get into this episode. So, this episode has a lot of focus on both Oz and Sophia. With Oz, we're seeing more of his plan unfold, which is what moves the episode along in terms of the story. But what we get from Sophia is some really good filling out of her character. We also get a little bit of that from Oz too, which is a nice balance. And I actually really liked what we saw from Sophia's character in this episode, both in the writing and the acting. The episode actually starts with her where she's having some sort of dream or vision of her time back at Arkham talking to her brother. The vision sends her into a very emotional response where when she snaps out of it, we realize she's having a panic attack in the middle of a therapy session. And what I liked about this scene was it gave us a little bit more insight into what exactly Sophia might be holding back in terms of her mental health. And on top of that, I just really love the job that Kristen Milotti is doing playing Sophia. She does such a great job at conveying the feeling that Sophia's sanity is a very fine line and she is struggling deeply to walk it. Over the next few scenes of the episode, we see Oz's plan continue to move forward. He's made a plan with Maroni to steal supplies from the Falcons. This plan goes a bit sideways, and very quickly, Oz has to adapt. This quick adaptation trait was something that the episode focused on quite a bit, and I really liked what it added to Oz's character. What we know about Oz so far is that he's a good manipulator and a good planner. He's got a feel for the game of chess that he's playing with these two crime families. But what's most impressive, I think, to me, is his ability to adapt when the plan isn't going exactly how he drew it up. Next up, we get a scene with the heads of the Falcone family discussing the aftermath of the plan from Oz and Maroni. Obviously, at this point, they have no idea that Oz is working with Maroni. And in this scene, we get another interesting moment from Sophia. Essentially, she finally shows her aggravation with the heads of the family and how they've handled things since the ending of her brother. And quickly, they snap back at her and remind her that she doesn't have the role that her brother had in the family. Immediately, Oz realizes that she's frustrated with the family and the response to her complaints, and he begins to work this into his angle. Now, I like the way that this played out for a couple reasons. I liked how it added another layer to an already interesting character in Sophia. To this point, we hadn't really seen her show this kind of frustration with the family or her role in it. So to me, it felt like this was her realizing that she has a claim to running the family given that her father was Carmine Falcone. And I also liked how, again, we see Penguin's ability to very quickly, in real time, process, adapt, and apply a situation to his benefit. The character so far never misses an opportunity to work something into his plan, whether it be a new opportunity or a solution to a failed portion of the plan he already had. Then, jumping ahead a little bit, Sophia hires a cop to do some investigating into the potential leak in the family that she's concerned of. We find out Penguin has some serious dirt on Johnny Vitti, one of the high ranking members of the Falcone family, which is some photos of him having a relationship with the wife of the new head of the Falcone family, Luca Falcone. And then we get to a really interesting scene with Sophia, which is really all visual, but it does a really good job at, again, adding more insight into exactly what's going on in the mind of her character. What we see is Sophia waking up in a total panic. She struggles to settle herself down when you realize that she's laying on what looks to be the floor of a closet. She then gets up and opens the doors to show a bed that's still perfectly made and unslept in, and scratch marks all over her neck. And then the scene closes with her frantically washing her hands in the bathroom. And what I liked about this scene was that it just adds a lot of little details into her background. It tells us that during her time in Arkham, she must have spent a considerable amount of time in her cell in isolation. It also alludes to the idea that she was likely in full restraints for some of her time there, hence the scratch marks around the neck. And obviously, they're telling us that she's suffering from PTSD from her time there, which at the same time as adding a little bit of detail to her, it also adds some curiosity in terms of what exactly did she do and how dangerous did they consider her during her time before and at Arkham. I really like the slow reveal they're going with for her character's background, and again, just a strong acting performance from Kristen Milotti. We then see some more of the dynamic between Oz and his mother, where we see he's a seemingly very caring son who does what he can to take care of her, while also dealing with the weight of her expectations for him and the lifestyle she feels she deserves. It's a bit more of what we saw from them last week. Then we get to the funeral scene where Oz shows up late. He finds Sophia and continues to try and work his way onto her good side. He leaves her with some words of wisdom, and you get the feeling that he's starting to crack through that tough exterior she has towards him. Next up, Oz gets a text from Maroni's wife that says they need to meet. He obviously goes. She questions him on how one of their men had been captured by the Falcone family. She doesn't really trust Oz at this point, so they threaten him, and to save his life, he gives her the photos of Johnny Vitti having a relationship with Luca Falcone's wife that he had originally intended to give to Luca himself, but he instead chooses to use it here to save him in this spot. Again, displaying his ability to adapt his plan, which is a theme in this episode. Then we find out Sophia has the Maroni family member at the Falcone mansion, and he's being held in the basement until he's awake so that they can get the information out of him on who is the leak in the Falcone family. Oz finds out about this and quickly puts a plan together to frame Johnny Vitti as the leak. This again goes sideways when Victor fails to do his part in the plan, so Oz, once again on the spot, changes the plan and takes care of the member of the Maroni family himself before he can give any information to Sophia. He then frames another member of the family as the leak. They buy it, and he is officially off the hot seat. The episode closes with a meeting between Oz and Sophia where she tells Oz that she's tired of the way the family's being run and she feels like they want her out of the picture. So instead, she's going to go on the offense and take back what she feels is hers. And of course, Oz and his plan have put him right into the perfect position of her needing a new right hand man and asking him if he wants to join her. So, overall, I thought this was another strong episode for the series. I really liked how it dove a bit more into Sophia's character, while at the same time keeping a focus on Penguin and moving the story forward. It was a really good balance in terms of storytelling. And again, for a second straight episode, the acting is top notch across the board. Even actors with smaller roles in the episode do really well in them. There's a lot of really well acted scenes that I didn't even get the chance to talk about in this review. For example, there's one with Oz and Victor that really stands out when viewing. And just like the acting's been good for a second episode in a row, so has the look of the show and the writing. Both have been fantastic. I absolutely recommend this show based off these first two episodes. I'm very interested in checking out episode 3 and seeing if it maintains this high level of quality. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be back again with another review soon.